about it. So I wanted to introduce Miles to my community, you guys and the listeners and my friends and family. He's one of the most authentic and down-to-earth guys in the internet marketing world, so he can teach you a lot about internet marketing. So I'll just start off, letting Miles introduce himself to you guys, and we'll get it going from there.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming out. So, I guess quick bio, quick story. I started making money online in 2003, doing everything the exact wrong way possible, and it came crashing down about 6 months later. And then, man, I just stuck with it, kept trying to figure it out. 2010, I went full-time. I think I made my first website in like 99 or something like that. So I went full-time in 2010, and I've been full-time for about 7-8 years now. My goal in life at this point is to become the most helpful internet marketer in the world. I give away everything for free. I have no courses. There's nothing, like, you can't buy something from me. I don't do services. I just run a YouTube channel where I just try to give literally more value than any other internet marketer out there. This Abundant Circle thing is kind of like a side project. It's just fun. We get out like 12 entrepreneurs, private chefs, yachts, 9-bedroom beachfront mansion. Like, we're sitting on a second patio balcony right now. We got the ocean. There's like a surf break right out here. Just had like 5 private chefs make an absolutely epic dinner, and so we're like, let's just cut a podcast, because that's what entrepreneurs do. We don't have the best gear in the world right now, but that doesn't even matter. We're just making it happen, and that's literally what it's all about, is just making it happen.
It is. It is so much fun, though, and that's part of the journey. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about where you're at now before we go into your past, because it's an amazing story about what led up to you now. But just so the listeners understand, like, tell me more about your YouTube channel.
So my YouTube channel is essentially documenting what I've learned in growing a business with my wife. My wife and I run a couple of very successful niche websites, authority niche websites in the spirituality and the meditation space. And we started those in 2009 was the first one. So from 2009 till now, which is like 8+ years, I've been grinding it out behind the scenes, conversion rate optimization, SEO, keyword research, just super geeking out. My wife's the talent. She's the voice and the face of the brand. She's way prettier than I am, so that worked really well for us. And I'm just behind the scenes, pulling strings, making sure that the content she's putting out is getting reach. So she started off doing a 90-day blog challenge. She created a blog post every day for 90 days straight. She's actually done that a few times now. So we created like this massive amount of success in a niche where most people don't even think there's a possibility to like create abundance. And then I decided last year, I got challenged at a personal development seminar to do something that scared me. And it was time for me to break out from behind the scenes as a like behind the scenes guy and become a content creator. And I've wanted to share like what we're doing for years. So I just started in August to put out a video a day. I did 120 videos, published 120 videos in 120 consecutive days, and it's all super nuts and bolts, like how to run Facebook ads, how to do SEO, how to do keyword research. And it's all this stuff, all these bits and pieces that I've used over the years to build my business with my wife and I. And I've kind of committed to not building an info product. A lot of people, once they've had the success my wife and I have, they like change the game, and then they stop doing what got them successful, and then they become like marketing gurus. And I just think that's whack. I think that's complete bullshit. So I'm trying to stand in the power of like, I don't have anything to sell you. I have nothing. I don't do consulting. I don't do client work. I don't do services, nothing. I just want to tell you how real it is. And that allows me to kind of be honest, a little more honest than most people, because I don't have to like care if I tell you how difficult it actually is, because it really is difficult. And that's where I'm at now. So I've been doing videos on my channel for about 14 or 15 months. Probably, I'm getting up to the 300 video mark, probably 280 videos in about a year and a few months, and 37,000 subscribers, 1.5 million views. And I started with zero. Literally, last August, I had 0 views. I had 0 videos. I had never put up, I had no subscribers, nothing. I had no audience, and now I've got like a thriving multiple 5-figure per month business off of this as an affiliate. I don't even have my own products.
That is so amazing. So it's been a little over a year now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so a little over a year, and you've got 37,000 subscribers, making tons of, helping tons of people find the right products and services to help fuel their businesses, inspiring tons of other entrepreneurs to create tons of videos, which is pretty freaking awesome. You inspired me to start making daily videos and podcasts for E-commerce Paradise, which I had been sitting on for the last 2 years, kind of playing around with this and and not quite sure if it was like the right thing or not to do. I wasn't quite sure if I was good enough or not for my audience. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to serve people correctly. And really, honestly, I was just half-assed in it for a long time. And then I just started watching your videos, and I was like, man, this guy's just crushing it. He's doing what's on the top of your head. You're you're not caring about the background. You're just getting it done, which is so cool. Like, it's all about implementation, and execution.
It really is. And YouTube, everybody's okay with like this kind of quality, right? If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on the podcast, like know that the video quality is pretty rubbish. We're like outside. We got kind of like a jerry-rigged light, but that's okay because the content is here. And that's what it's all about on YouTube, is about the content. And everyone in this world has some level of expertise about different things, whether it's like gaming or like there's some people in this world who are passionate about making vegan dog food, right? And like you can go create these niche businesses because our world is so interconnected, and it's not about the production quality. It's just about how helpful you can be. So my bit, if you will, is being of service to an audience at scale, and that willingness to be of service. And that's what you did. You realized, like, you know what? I have a chance to be of service to this audience. I'm just going to keep going forward. I'm going to figure this out. You get better as you go on. You flex the muscle enough. You build a nice, big, strong muscle. And then you find people like me, and you get to do interviews, and you get to bring more views. You grow as a marketer from these kinds of conversations. Your audience gets the benefit of it, and it's kind of like a win-win-win situation. And it all stems from a willingness to be vulnerable, to kind of be like, damn, I don't even know if I'm ready. Like when I made my first video, like my first video is terrible, and I just did it because I had to do it because I knew I needed to do number 2. And that's where the 90-day challenge comes in. It kind of forces you to like get beyond your own mental negative self-talk that we all have. It's like, ooh, I don't know, I'm not ready, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. And it's like, I just grabbed my cell phone. I got a Nexus 6P. I use my front cell phone camera as my main camera. I didn't go buy a bunch of equipment. I bought like a $30 microphone that plugs into my cell phone, and I just started jabbering on it. Same laptop. I don't even have a Mac. I got a little like Windows machine that I've been running on for like 5 years, and it's like outdated, and it still works. And I made over $1 million on that laptop with that phone, and it's crazy because it's a willingness to push content, to push work, to ship work. Oh, Chef just let us know dessert's about to be ready pretty soon, but we'll get this content out for you.
I don't know, guys. Dessert might have to come before we finish this podcast. If you guys are lucky, though, we'll finish it first. So I do want to talk to you about a little bit more about the 90-day challenge. So I know at the Abundant Circle here, we just had this crazy few days of masterminding, and you just made this huge decision. Can you tell my audience a little bit about it?
Well, what huge decision is this? Oh, the 90-day challenge group. Oh, okay, right. So my wife and I started her website with the 90-day challenge in the written word because she's a writer, so she went the blog post route. She loves crafting the written word. I hate it. In high school, in college, I hated term papers. I tried to make myself blog for years because my wife did it. She was really successful, so I was like, obviously blogging is the way to get successful, and I failed at it until I started doing videos. I can do videos. It's comfortable. I just like the process, so I applied that same 90-day challenge to the video side and duplicated that success again in a totally different medium. Now I've introduced thousands of people to this idea. I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of people take me up on the 90-day challenge. There is a brand new Facebook group out there. It's right now is Miles Beckler's 90-day challenge group.
I'll link to it.
I might come up with a more clever title than that at some point. I might not. I really don't care. But it's all about like doing a 90-day challenge is really, really difficult. It pushes you up against like your mental barriers, your demons. Am I good enough? Can I do this? And you have to push through and persevere. And it's not always about like, it's not like what you're going to get at the other end of the 90-day challenge. It's who you become once you complete a 90-day challenge. You become a content creator. And that is the absolute key for internet marketing to become successful. You have to shift from someone who consumes content all the time to someone who produces content all the time. And you need to produce more content than you consume. And that 90-day challenge just squishes down the learning curve. It squishes down that kind of like growth curve into a few months. And at the end of that, you're like, I'm addicted to making videos now. I made one at 5:55 this morning. The sunrise was epic. I was all inspired about it, and I was like, oh, I'll make a video on inspiration. Pulled my phone out. I was like still all sleepy-eyed, and and I just recorded it right then and there because I was inspired to share that moment with my audience. And magic happens when you run. I've seen it duplicated out in so many niches: information businesses, software businesses, e-commerce businesses. Like building an authority site is the way to go, and publishing content regularly is the path to building an authority site.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that you can do that in many different niches. So let's talk about the Abundant Circle for a minute. You've been doing this for a couple years now. Why did you guys get started with it? And now that it's the second year, where do you think it's going, and what's the future of the Abundant Circle event?
Oh man! So we started this last year was the first one. We rented a 18-room palace, they called it, in Phuket, Thailand, and it was like 34,000 square feet, or for our metric friends, that's something like 3,000 square meters. Absolutely insanely large place. I flew out a private chef, a bartender, and a videographer. So my reason for doing it is I go to a lot of conferences, and there's a lot of people who just go to conferences or they'll go to meetups and they'll talk a big game like they're doing things, but I found out that not that many people are actually taking that much action, and a lot of people are making their Instagram look like they're doing things, but they're not actually doing things. So I was trying to figure out, how can I bring all these cool people I've met at these different circles that don't overlap? How can I bring them all into one place and give value and build relationships and help connect others? And then this is year 2. I kind of adapted the model. We've got a smaller place. We've got a smaller group. This allows me to go deeper into everyone's businesses. For me, it's really kind of a feedback loop. I get to really see like where people are at, what they're working on, what their challenges are, what their perceived challenges are, kind of help unlock them. But it gives me hundreds of ideas for new videos that I get to make. Where it's going, like, I don't know. There's no way to scale this model as it is. It takes an incredible amount of time and energy from me and my wife. The opportunity cost is massive. It's not profitable. I don't sell coaching on the back end of it. So I don't know where it's going, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if I'm going to do this again next year. I don't know if I'm going to flip it to where I'm on stage and we're renting a resort somewhere really cool and I got 200 people in a room. I might not do it, because I could probably reach more people and help more people at scale through my YouTube channel at home in my video studio. So I'm going to think about that for pretty deeply, but I am kind of addicted to the experience. As you can tell, it's a pretty wicked experience all in all. And so, yeah, I guess the future will hold the answer to that one.
It's all good, man. I really think that this kind of an event is life-changing. It truly is, because you're taking something that is really important in life, which is connecting with people, and you're taking it to a new level, which is like in a small group form, and then you're also getting all these people to talk entrepreneurship all day long, and you're kind of guiding people, which I really appreciate, because you're talking sales funnels, you're talking Facebook ads, you're talking all the foundations to building your business online, which a lot of people miss. I think that a lot of people that want to get into building online businesses, they think that I'm just going to take a course really quick, I'm going to throw up a website, I'm going to throw up some products, or throw up some content or whatever, throw up some affiliate links, and then a social media channel or whatever, and then I'm just going to start making money instantly. But it's not like that. And I know you're really into building sales funnels out, and you really know the true value of building a long-term business. Can you talk a little bit about that and what it's like to build a full business, and how the quote is, that it's easy, but it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah. And great quote, and it's so true. And we figured this out by doing everything wrong. And my goal is to help other people at least realize what it actually takes to create a successful business. So, like I said, I made my first money online in 2003. I went full-time in 2010. That's like 7 years. And then it really took me another 3 or 4 years to hit that, kind of like wealth creation. I'm looking at real estate. I'm looking at, investing, and my game changed. And it's like, I really think most people could do that in like 1.5 to 3 years, even though it took me so long. And that's because I had no guidance. I had no money to buy any courses. Another thing is, a lot of these course creators, they need to sell a false reality. They need to sell a dream that's not quite true, of like, learn my super easy system for making millions of dollars. But what they're neglecting to often tell you is it took them 10 years of failure to learn that one system. And it's probably going to take you 3 years of failure to actually figure out how that system works for you. And that's why I don't want to ever have a course. I want to be able to stay in my truth and be like, yo, these fake gurus they're selling you a fake dream. The real dream is work your ass off for 3 years, and you should be in a pretty good position to start actually creating wealth, because like the kind of wealth you can create from this business model is fantastic. So along my path, my wife started on that 90-day challenge, creating content. That was great. And then we were like, all right, we got to build an email list. That's what I had wrong in my first business. I didn't have an email list. I was direct linking MySpace visitors, way back when, to affiliate links. So I was putting up affiliate links on MySpace. People were clicking them. They would go when they bought. I made money. That worked for a while, but MySpace changed their terms of service when they got bought out by Fox News. And like literally they turned off my links and all my income disappeared overnight. If I was building an email list, I could have continued to grow that relationship with that list and be of service to that list and effectively continue to make money. But instead I went all the way back to zero. So my wife and I started growing an audience through putting out content. Then we knew, all right, we have to build a list. That was part 2. So you need an opt-in page. And then that was working pretty good, but like we still were just making like enough to get by. And I went through a coaching program and he was like, okay, you need to put a one-time offer after the opt-in page. So like the thank you page for the opt-in page, then they go to a page where you offer them something to buy. And I was like, man, we're in meditation. That's kind of like, that's really aggressive, salesy stuff. Well, it turns out people want to buy our stuff. And some people don't want to wait for 3 emails and blah, blah, blah follow-up sequence. They just want to buy our stuff. Like they're ready. They make good money. They're in a different position than I am. So facilitating their ability to purchase quickly, that right there, just literally opt-in page to one-time offer. It took several tweaks to figure out, like tests, to figure out which one was actually the compelling offer that got them to take action. But that was what kicked us well over the 5-figure monthly income level. And like that was such a decisive moment of like, money is no longer like something I think about in the same sense. Like I'm probably cash flow negative on this abundant circle. I had to lay out almost $15,000 of my own money to even like initiate this. And it was just like, I just wanted to do it anyways. And I'm in a position to be able to do that. And like, that's really cool, but now I want to give back and I want to help other people bridge that gap by being real and being like, dude, this takes a lot of work. But here's the thing, and like I don't want to drive that work thing too bad to like scare people. Like it's so effing worth it. Like you've experienced it. My goal with Abundant Circle is we've got literally this villa has 18 staff members taking care of us, and I flew out 2 as if 18 wasn't enough. We have 12 guests and 20 staff members. There's like 5 chefs. There are we are taking care of everybody's lawn. Like everything is getting done. Our clothes or our rooms are getting made. Dishes are getting done. All the meals are prepared by professional chefs. And it really allows us to go deep with each other and experience that level of abundance that it's a hack. Like I couldn't afford this by myself, but together as a group, we're all able to kind of like hack this new lifestyle. And it's just like, wow, this is what the ultra wealthy grew up and do. My family, I'm from a blue collar, like working class, poor family. And like, this is what the other side of the tracks experiences. Damn, that's kind of cool. And it makes me kind of hungry to grow it and do more. And I love sharing it.
Hell yeah. This is one of the most amazing events I've been to in a long time. And Juliana and I don't really go to events that much anymore because the issue is we usually go to the events and it's some good speakers and good food and you meet some people and hang out, but it just at the end of the day doesn't end up being worth it. So these are the type of events we really like to do, these really small group retreats that are made in such a way that you really do feel like you're super ultra wealthy. And it's kind of cool. If you guys haven't checked out the 4-Hour Workweek, it's an old book now, but it's actually super relevant still, and it really does teach you that you can achieve the same wealthy kind of lifestyle without having to have all that wealth. So it's pretty amazing. Now, I do want to touch on another subject really quick before we end this podcast. There's one thing that I learned during this retreat over everything else, and we've learned a lot. We've learned sales funnels, we've learned Facebook ads. It's been crazy, but the one thing I learned was the mindset and the niching down process. Can you talk about how important it is to niche down in your business?
Absolutely, and it's so true. So my wife and I, we're not just in the meditation niche or the spirituality niche. We actually create angel meditations. So it's literally where like the angel world overlaps with the meditation world. And most people hear that and they're like, is that even a thing? And we kind of invented it in some sense of the phrase, but there's other people who do very, very, very similar stuff. We're maybe the foremost digital marketers in that space. So and it's working really well. So I met some friends. We got some other friends here, some Kiwis from New Zealand, and I met them, hung out with them, and they're doing like an online gym, and they're running this online gym membership pretty successfully. And I go hang out with them, and I'm kind of like in their business talking to them, and they're just blown away that we're able to do the kind of revenue and the kind of numbers and the kind of lead growth that we're doing from this angel meditations. Turns out she loves, it's a husband and wife couple, she loves horses, and she loves a specific style of horseback riding that's called dressage riding. So she took her fitness love and her horseback riding love and merged it into this new business model. They're kind of inspired by her random, weird, obscure niche. And now that little tiny niche business is absolutely dominating, and it is on an incredible growth path. And they've been able to do more in like a year and a half with that than they did in like 3 or 4 or 5 years of the online gym. So like they niched down to something that at first was like, I don't really know if there's enough people in the world for that, but like 2 billion monthly active users on Facebook, 1 billion monthly active users on YouTube. I don't actually know the Google number. I know those two are pretty darn close right now. Like Google's even more, right? Like how many people search Google? Like 6 billion people a month or something stupid. So like when you show up in these places, even these obscure niches, I always use the vegan dog food recipes. I got another buddy, he was selling like I love knitting shirts to grandmas. Like literally he had like Facebook groups and stuff. So like these little obscure niches, what happens is your people are easier to identify. They raise their hand, they click the like button more, they engage more often, they search you out, and then they become raving fans of you because you're actually talking to them, right? It's not just fitness. It's like fitness for those who want to ride their horse better, or it's not just a meditation. It's meditation for those who believe in angels. And when you get that super specific, like the whole game changes and it becomes easier to be of service to that audience.
It's so awesome, and it's so true. So the last question, I wanted to ask you is kind of sort of in the niche process, but it's, I think, even more important. And that is, what is the first step that someone can take to get from zero to a income that will allow them to live this kind of lifestyle?
Great question. And it's always introspective. It's go inside. It's look in your heart, look at your DNA, look at like who you are. So for me, to give you an example, because that's kind of, it might sound abstract, for me, realizing that I hate writing, like I hate it. I'm going to write a book too, which is funny, but I'm actually going to speak it out because I'm good at speaking. So like figuring out, and Gary Vee says, like do what's in your DNA, right? So like figuring out and realizing that I'm a content creator in this format of YouTube videos and spoken word, and then going in on my strengths, that was the huge leg up. But also inside your heart, what captivates you, right? If you love making your dog vegan dog food every night and you're super passionate about vegan dog food, go after it, right? It is possible in these obscure niches. And when you love something, you're going to find a way to like overcome those challenges and to put in those late nights. Because if you're just doing it and chasing the dollars, like you're going to hit some point 3, 6, 8 months down the line, 18 months down the line, where you're like, man, I'm putting in all this work. I'm making a little bit of money, but this fucking sucks. And when you hit that point, you've failed. But if you love what you do, seriously love what you do, you go do what you do, right? So if you're like into RC cars and that's your bit and you love gas RC cars, one more example, real world example of a homie of mine. This dude, he's into like remote control airplanes. Like right now, like drones are hot. We all know drones are the hotness. This dude didn't go into the drone niche because drones are hot. He went into what he loves, and he likes these weird-ass fixed-wing things like giant triangles that fly. Like, he loves these things. This dude sold like $150,000 worth of remote control stuff as an affiliate in his first year, doing a video a day, just literally videotaping him putting together new RC planes, attempting to fly them, crash them, duct taping them back together, flying them again till they're destroyed. Then he's like switching out the engines and doing all this little fun stuff because he's a total nerd with it. So the main takeaway here is this dude actually loved remote control airplanes. He actually loved it. And instead of thinking like, oh, this is hot right now, I'm going to go do that hot thing because that's where the money's at, drone. Everybody's in the drone thing. He doesn't like drones. He would have got bored with it. But now he's still putting out content. He's got a raving group. There's this huge group. There's a ton of RC plane fans. And some of those planes are like $600-800. That, like, you can easily drop $3,000 on some of these ridiculous planes. And he's just like dominating search engine results because everyone who flies a plane breaks it. And he keeps breaking them and fixing them. And one of the coolest parts is it's all tax deduction. So his giant hobby, he's buying plane after plane after plane, testing things. It's all tax deductible. He's videotaping himself doing it. He's laughing he's literally like a child. He's a total man-child. He's making money, having an absolute blast in the process, being of service to an audience that didn't have anybody in the RC plane space because everybody was like circle jerking around drones. Right. And it's so like, do you is the biggest thing. And that's on 2 levels, at the niche level, but also at like, how are you going to create content? Because that's the trick to the game is how do you create a ton of content?
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, guys. Well, I was really, really, really happy to have Miles on this podcast. So much value dropped. Go out there, find your niche. find your passion, find where they intersect, and make it happen. Do the 90-day challenge. Join the group, Miles Beckler's 90-day challenge. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's freaking awesome. Watch his videos. He's got so many in-depth videos on making WordPress websites, Thrive themes, setting up funnels, doing Facebook ads. Like, he is the man to go to. All this stuff is free. Let me tell you, I spent hours watching his content, and I'm finally building the biggest business of my life, and I'm so happy about it, and I can't thank you enough. So thanks so much for being on the podcast. You the man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
See you guys out there. Peace.